Okay, modifications to the Lifetime Manta. If you don't know about them, they've got a lot of different features, but it's a wide fish kayak with the catamaran hull, and it just allows you to stand on the thing real easily. So what I've done to it, it comes with the left-hand trolling motor mount. So I put a 55 Newport on it. And you know what? God, did that suck. Running one motor on that side of the boat, you can get from point A to point B once you get it the right direction. Other than that, I hated it. I just absolutely hated it. So what I did was I put a 55 on this side. And the mod was a little complicated. They don't make a right-hand bracket for that. So I had to buy the left hand, turn it around, try to get all the architecture lined up with the other one, and then make point of where it's doing its main torque. And so in doing that, I had to turn the thing around, cut the end of it off, and then put a spin wheel down there with a kind of a bushing there. And so it can handle all the jarring effects without cracking anything. So that was a little bit of work. Put the Yak Attack outriggers on it because I do a lot of punch fishing. And so I wanted complete, everything I read about having a kayak is you're going to turn it over, you're going to lose your gear. Then you got to figure out how to get back on it in the water. And I'm like, all right, here's the deal. We're going to do everything to ensure that never happens. And so one of the cool things about the duals is they're heavy. They're about 23 pounds a piece. And they kind of act as like a counterweight in some ways when you're on one side of the boat or other. And then by the time you add the Yak Attack, it is so stable. I run around with these things. I don't care. This is supposed to be a mini bass boat. And put on this cheap little swivel add-on seat onto a Versa stack. And so I can use the drawer. I actually don't use it that much. But I keep some stuff in there. And so really cool, really comfortable. You can swivel around. See, I basically kept the regular kayak seat in place. I had to loosen all the fabric so I could get it out of the way so I could do that. And but it's there in case I go to the river. I pop that heavy thing off. It's a little counterbalanced or a little off balance for a river. I think I've taken it down the river. You know what? No. And so anyway, that is just a really cool mod we did. Okay, now let me explain. By the way, I really, really like their fish holders. I think that they were well done. I use them all the time. I got a 3 spot there. I got 2 more here. Really don't need that much capacity, but I do like reaching around me and grabbing out of the existing. Very cool. So some of the modifications, well, let me go to what I hate about this thing. There's only one thing I hate about this. 2 things are the basically wheel skegs. This is where they kind of failed. I mean, I think that the idea was good. It's just that the implementation was bad. So at one point, I had one of the back ones pop off. Or just, they popped out a socket. I didn't know anything about it. I set it on the ground. I noticed this when I was getting it off the truck, and set it on the ground, popped it back in. Then when I got home, I left it in the truck on the hot bed liner out in the sun, and then went and torqued each of the Phillips, kind of thinking they probably need torqued. And now it's hot, I can get a good grab. Well, yesterday I had it in the truck all day. Went fishing in the morning, came home, sat in the hot sun, back of the bed, hot bed liner. Had to run a quick errand. I don't know if I hit a bump, took a turn, but when I went back out to the lake last night, these things were completely collapsed and off of the kayak. And so I went fishing. I took them off, moved them onto the side, went fishing. I really like the boat control with this, the Skeg, because otherwise, you make a little adjustment with the trolling motor and then you're just, you over adjusted just making a quick adjustment. So they had to stay on. I got home. I took the amazing goop and just put it on, took each of the sockets off the individual plugs, and then jammed them up there with amazing goop, and then slowly, kind of work my way through. The big bitch, the main bitch, is the attachment. So they give you this channel for a little tiny Phillips screw. Some of those had ripped right through the plastic. I had to put washers. And so, they didn't need, it would be great if the actual pilot hole sent you right directly over the top of the Phillips. It doesn't. You're fighting. You'll know. So, and then the wheels are curl for pavement, but if you're hauling them through any kind of stuff to get from the truck, they suck on grass, everything with this much weight. And so I am going to figure out a way to widen, get more surface area on the ground out of some kind of system. I don't know if I beef these up, order more of these, and then go on the outside. So I have 3 of them. I don't know yet. But, I got a cart, but it's just as easy to grab it. If you're only going 30 feet, 40 feet, cart's a pain in the ass. So anyway, when the trolling motors are dropped, these things telescope out. It's amazing the experience of driving this, because it feels so futuristic. Turning it, you hit the one forward, you hit the one back, and you swing this thing around on a dime in a second. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Both of these will go, take it 5.5 miles per hour. So you kind of feel like you're flying from spot to spot. And then when you're in each location, you have the ability to make quick adjustments. You got to reach over and hit one of the motors. So one problem I have with all of that is if I'm just kind of standing and running along a structure, whether it's a shoreline, weed line, whatever the thing is, and I'm casting, I have no control over the speed. One of those on the first speed, is way, way, way too fast. So what I decided to do, and we're getting ready to put this back in, put it in, is I'm going to have two modes here. I'll show you. Tackle box. Now, I've got two modes to the electronics on the boat. I got an off, I got a setting 1, which is basically all my full transport, full voltage, amperage. And then the second one, second circuit, is going to come into a motor controller. Okay. And then the motor controller, it's a typical motor controller. And comes with a little potentiometer. And it's going to be mounted kind of like right in there. Okay, you got that? All right. So that way, when I can take these motors and slow them way down. So I can stand, sit, whatever the case is, I want to slowly keep moving. And in that situation, occasionally you're going to have to steer. Well, one thing, if you're standing up, you can, put a little weight to one side, a little weight to the other, and that'll track you what you need to do. Or you can just simply reach over and, adjust one of those. Okay, so very cool. Very, very cool what is about to come to play. So, do I want a potentiometer? I could wire a potentiometer here, right? But I'm a musician. And I also had a bass boat with a nice little foot controller. So what I came up with is, that looks like a wah-wah pedal. It's actually called an expression pedal. And it controls voltages on different devices, for my guitar rig. If I want to speed up the echo or slow it down, whatever. It's it's basically a voltage controller. So this is the expression pedal by M Audio was $30, okay? It gets plugged into, so this now is the potentiometer instead of the little knob. So I can, kind of pull this. If I'm sitting, set it up there. And, that's my new speed controller right there. 1/4-inch plug is going to plug in right there. I can unplug it and put it away. Yada, yada. Then I've got a stereo 1/4-inch audio cable that runs from the front to the back, and there it is. And then it plugs in, where's it plug in here? It plugs in like you were plugging in, where's it? I'm zoning out, man. It basically plugs in like you're plugging in a guitar. Okay? And that way I can unplug it and remove the box. So that's the amazingly cool thing we're doing is, and then this, so not only is it, just a regular potentiometer, slow, fast. It actually has 3 different settings for that your rate of fast to slow changes, or how much voltage you want through there. So I can basically customize how slow I can make it. And so that's it. This is a really cool boat. I've got a simple Garmin Striker 4 on it. So total price, $750 to my driveway from Walmart. And then trolling motors, I think were about 220 bucks. It's somewhere in the a piece from Amazon. Yak attacks were about 160, 70 bucks for the pair. Bass seat and all that crap, I don't know. It wasn't real, under 50 bucks. Then, I bought a couple of these crates, no big deal. Battery was 185 bucks. Various, accoutrements to get everything wired, and motor controller. I've got 1,800 bucks into this. So now I'm looking at, the base models of the different kayaks that I might be made better. I don't know. And, I've got quite a bit in it, but it runs, it operates, it functions for me for the price. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely I have so much fun. And punching's a big thing, and I'll pound myself into the lily pad feel and jump out and punch all day long, not even think about it. So really cool. It's a very, very cool little boat. That's what I call it. My kayak fishing friends call it a little bass boat. So not a bad deal, guys. Except for those stupid Skeg attachments. Oh my God, that was any housewife could adjust these. No, I want those things bolted down. All right, enjoy your day.